So you want to put some single seats in your crafter. You want to put some single captain seats in your camper van. Do you want to do it for £127 a seat? I did. This is 2 seats from a Range Rover. How amazing is that? Really, really pleased. All electric. What more can you want? Watch this video and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're Mark and V, and this is our adventures. Good morning guys, and welcome to Footsteps and Tire Tracks. And today we're back in the crafter and we're going to be installing some new seats. After the previous issues with the captain seats that we bought not being very good, we had them sent back, we got our money back, and we have bought some Range Rover seats. Now you can see they've been sat around for a while. However, they are electric and they're heated, and I only paid £127. So let's see how we get on. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a cloth to them and just get a little bit of it clean. So I've just given it a quick wash down. There'll be more treatment, so I'll give it proper leather treatment, proper leather cleaner at a later stage, but this is just so it's not got any dirt and muck on it. And you can see, I'm just going to show you the 2 seats together. Instantly, the one on the right hand side looks cleaner, doesn't it? I mean, in fact, they look different colours now, which is quite concerning, but I know as soon as I start cleaning the other one, that's going to come up as well. So that's the next job. Right, so I've given the seats a clean off. We'll do it properly at a later stage, but it's just better to work with them like that. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to suss out the wiring. And I've just taken the cover off the back of this. This is the main connector back to the actual car. And I'm looking at it and I'm suspecting that the red and the brown are the ground and the earth. Now you can see some of the cables going off. That one there is going off to the heated seats. So we have 3 wires, is it 3 wires? 4 wires going in there. And of course these seats are have memory on them. If we come over here, they have memory function. Well, we won't be using the memory function, but we will be using the heated seats. But the first thing I think we need to do is we need to confirm that these 2 are the earth and live. So what we'll do is we'll just get a battery and some cables and just check that out. So what I've done is I've removed that connector from out of the actual loom, and I've made up a little harness here that's going to connect via crocodile clips to the spare battery I've got. And I'm hoping that literally that will be everything we need to do. Obviously when we put it in, we'll be putting fuses in as well, but I'm hoping that will be everything we need to do just to control the seats. So we'll soon find out. I'm just going to plug it in and try it. I've connected that back up, as you can see, and we've connected to the battery. And if I just use that control, you can see that is working. So that's really, really quite simple. So all we're going to do is go into the brown and the red are the positive and negative, so that's really easy. Now the next stage is we're going to work out how to do the heated seats, which is on this wire here. You can see this one out, it's going back there, that comes back through to this one. I'm just going to take them out, and we can see there's 2 pins, so it's positive and negative again. Oh, it's 3. There is actually 3 pins there. So I'm going to do a little bit of research now and just figure out how we do that. Okay, so I've been away and had a look at the wiring diagram for the heated seats, and this is the loom, and you can see it's got a green wire, a red wire and an earth wire. Now I am not entirely sure what the green wire is for at the moment, and I can't find any information online, so I think I'm going to abandon that for the minute and get the seats actually mounted into the van, and we can come back to that. That's quite an easy thing to do afterwards. We know from the testing that our negative and positive are here on this end of this connector. I'm going to leave it, keep it like that, and I'm going to actually build a loom that plugs into like it is there, because I think that's probably going to be the easiest way, and then we'll bring it back to the fuse box underneath the passenger seat. I'm not quite sure which fuse box we're going to go into yet, but we'll do that at a later stage. Well, the next thing we're going to have to look at is actually the seats, and I do know that they're not quite the same size. I'm going to show you some measurements here. The actual bolt holes, as you can see there, are 410 widthways, and back to front we are 370. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to make notes of that first of all, and then we're going to measure the bottoms of the seats on the new seats. As we come on to the next part where we're going to have to mount the seats. Now, I think I told you earlier, I'm not sure if I did now, I've got some rough drawings here, but I'll draw it up proper. Now you can see the seat base is 370 from hose centre to hose centre, and 410 wide hose centre to hose centre. So that's like 370 that way and 470 that way. Now the Range Rover seat is 460 from hose centre to hose centre. So we've got to expand the width of the seat base, and we're going to do it with this steel, and we're going to mount the steel there, and then that will allow us to be able to bolt the seat in. It's only 50 mil, but it is quite a bit. Now here we have a little bit of an issue, so I'm going to trim that around so we'll still be able to use the lever on the seat, or else it's pointless even doing it. So that's the next bit I'm going to do. I won't bore you with the cutting and filing, but we'll come back in a little while when I've done that, and then we'll be lining up the hose hopefully. Right, so we've got a bit of a mock-up now, and I'm just going to show you that. And I'll get the paperwork as well to just show you how I've worked this out. So, I'm not going over this a few times, I know. But, so the seat base, hoe to hoe, you can just see a line there, just see a line there, and just see a line there. That is, I measured it originally at 370, it's actually 360. So I need to measure more accurately in future. And you'll see that the Range Rover is 360 as well. Now sadly, it would have been perfect, wouldn't it? But the Range Rover is 460 wide, whereas the standard crafter seat base is 410 wide. So I've made up these strips, and I've cut the piece in so we got the lever still able to work, and then we will bolt them into the original hose, and then we'll drill the next hose, the wider hose, alongside it. Now the next question I have is exactly where the base hose should be drilled. So that's the next thing I'm going to work out. The next thing is how far it sits back in the hose. Now the crafter hole sits 3 centimeters back, or 30 mil back from the lip. Now if we go on to the Range Rover seat and take it from the very front of the plastic, you can see there that is roughly 5. So we are going to clear, both bolts are going to clear each other. So I think we're quite happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is drill the holes in the seat base. Well, not in the seat base. I'm going to drill the holes in the metal. It's a lot of faffing around, but I really want to get it right. So we've made the first bracket, and this will be the template now to make all the rest. You can see that matches up. I won't be drilling the hole for the seat until we're in place. We may have to get bolts that are lower profile. You can get them, but there you are. Needs to be painted and everything yet, but it's a good start. We'll just do the hose for the next one, and then we got the first seat ready to go on. This is a steel bar. It's 50mm by 50mm wide, that is, by 3mm thick. I've made a few of the brackets already. Obviously they're not finished, they've got to be painted yet. That one's not finished quite. There's one, well, in fact there's only one with complete hose at the moment, but I'm getting there. You can see I'm just about to cut the next one out, so I'm doing this by hand as well because I haven't got a saw to do it with, so it takes a little bit of time. Anyway, I will put it on time lapse so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing, and hopefully I will get this all in drilled and painted tonight in primer and then in paint, and then tomorrow we can be looking at putting the wiring loom into the seats, if not for the heated seats, at least for the electrics. This all seems to be working quite well, and I'm hoping from what I've been reading online that the memory function might work as well, but we'll see. Anyway, let's carry on with this for a minute. Well, we're getting somewhere now, and I'm just taking all the burrs off all the metal now, and then I'm gonna sand them down. Well, sand them down. Just rub them down with some wet and dry. And then I'm gonna degrease them, and then hopefully we can get me some primer. And if we're very, very lucky, we might even manage to get them in paint tonight. Like everything, time starts running out. So it's about 8 o'clock at night now. So we'll have to see just how far we can get. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but they're quite greasy at the moment where I've used WD-40 to lubricate them while I've been cutting. We'll get them in primer, and then tomorrow it'll be a case of putting some gloss on, making up the wiring looms, and hopefully carrying on later in the weekend. We were hoping to use the van tomorrow night for camping, but I'm really doubting whether we're going to be able to get that done in time. Never know. But I'd much rather get this done. Because I'm off to America in less than 7 days now, and when I come back I'm down Cornwall Jamboree. In fact, by the time this video comes out, I might have already been to Cornwall Jamboree, and you may well have seen that video already, because going to be a case of priorities, really. Get which ones. Get whichever videos out first. There don't seem to be enough hours in a day, really. I think maybe sometimes you underestimate the amount of time doing something it's going to take. Now, because I don't have a real good method of getting rid of the grease, what I'm using is this little torch, and I'm burning the surface, and I can actually see the remnants of the grease burning off. Now, this is the only way I can think of, with the limited bits and pieces I've got here at the moment, to make sure the surface is as clean as possible. A little bit time consuming. I'll show you. You can just see as I'm going up through the grease burning off. Now, there must be other better ways of doing this, but I don't have any other methods at the moment, so this is the way I'm going to do it. Well, there we are for tonight. I said it wasn't going to be all done tonight, but we got the brackets and primer. And those of you who said I need a mask, yeah, I do. I will dig it out before I do any more. The door's wide open. Alright, so air's breathing through. Anyway, that's in primer, and we'll come back to that tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have the seats in by the end of the weekend. Just got to do the loom now. So I think everything is going pretty well. Well, here we are on the next day, and we've got some paint on. But sadly, it's a little bit cold in the garage, and the paint is blooming, as you can see. It's not taking very well, so I'm going to have to try and figure out a way of warming the garage up a bit. It's unseasonably cold in the UK at the moment, and it's not helping things. So anyway, I'll try and figure out a way of warming the garage up a little bit. I've got a diesel heater, as you can see down there. I ain't rigged it up yet, but maybe I'm going to have to do that sooner rather than later. Anyway, not to worry. Carrying on out into the van. Right, out in the van, I've made a loom that's going to come for the electric. See, it's a loom, it's 2 wires. That's going to come over to the fuse box. Not quite sure what fuse I'm going to take it off yet, but there we are. We have that coming across, and I also have a live feed, which will be a live feed eventually, which will be for the heated seats on the driver's side, and then I'll just replicate everything I've done. I'm going to replicate on the passenger side as well. Obviously, I don't need to come underneath to do the passenger side. Unfortunately, I've had to take everything back out just to get the wires underneath. And so you take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. The next thing I'm going to look at is this. Now, all that is, I was unsure before, is the seatbelt warning light. And there's 2 wires on it. And I'm figuring that it probably is a switch in the, well, it is a switch, I'm not figuring, it is a switch in the seatbelt mechanism. But we'll take all this out and we'll just go back. You can see there's 2 wires there, so we'll literally short the wires out with a resistor across them, just mimicking the switch. You know, it's taken a lot longer than I'd hoped, but I want to do it properly, and unfortunately things never quite go right as you're expecting. Now the seats, we gave them their first coat of polish the other day, and I'm really quite pleased with them. I've got a mark on this one here. It looks like glue. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to try a little bit of thinners on it and see what happens, but I'll probably try it in a place where you can't see it first, just in case it wrecks the leather. Anyway, let's carry on. Now, I think I was talking yesterday about wiring for the seats. I think I'm going to have the circuit I've been looking at, and I'll flash the circuit up now. This was a drawing of it. It's going to need 2 relays and 2 feeds either side. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the way it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I fed one live feed from the fuse area. It's not live yet, but I fed a feed will be the live feed from the fuse area, and I'm just going to pull it back. A second one. Now, if you've ever got to feed wires, you know, I might be teaching you to suck eggs here, but see how I've done there? I've looped it together. I'm going to tape that, and hopefully that is going to pull through and save me having to remove everything again to just put another wire through. Should work. Let's see how we get on. Right, so hopefully you can see the wire. Now I'm going to try and feed that through. Now it'll feed, but it's just whether it catches. So you're going to be very gentle, not too aggressive. That seems to be going alright. Just going to make sure you keep on feeding your wire, and there it is. It's through the other side. So that saved me ripping all things out now. So you can see that now. That's just pulled through. So we'll cut that off, and we're really happy with that now. That's perfect. Okay, so here comes the moment of truth. We're going to lift the seat into place and see what, and hopefully it's all going to match up. Okay, so I finally got the seat in, and that's the first one in. There's no electrics wired in yet. I've just continued with the temporary battery at the moment, just to move it backwards and forwards. I've just checked the seat spins, and it does, thank God. So the next thing is, I really want to suss out all the wiring underneath. So I've got the passenger seat here, and I've been looking at the seat. I'm just going to put a torch on here as well so you can see it a bit better, because it's a bit dark in the van. Now underneath here, I was wondering what this here was. If we come in, I was a bit concerned because it's got quite a few wires going into it, and it turns out that that is an airbag sensor. So we're going to disconnect that. I don't think we want to have any temptation to have an airbag going off, so we'll disconnect that. And as it happens, if you're looking at the front, it's the middle piece. So looking at the wiring, these two here are for the seat controls, that is the airbag, and that there is for the heated seats. I'm presuming the red and the green are the hot wires, and the black is the earth wires. That's the next thing I'm going to try and suss out, and once we've got that worked out, it's going to be pretty easy to wire it in. Now the wiring diagram I've got for the seats involves using relays, and if what I think is going to happen works, I'm going to mount the relays here, so everything's in the same place. We'll have to wait and see. There's a bit of testing to go on now, so that's the next stage. It's turning into a bit of a mammoth task. I think I've probably been working on this now for 3 days, all told. I've been doing other things in between, but it becomes a little bit frustrating at times, but I think it is going to work. The weather don't help it. I mean, today is the day you'll be able to sort of suss out when I've been doing this, because this is a big storm, and it's just so windy out there. I can't open the doors. I was trying to do a bolt on the seat just now, and coming in from the side, I just couldn't open the door and do up the bolt. So it's really frustrating. And we've done other things as well. Like last night, we went down to the Minute Theatre. No video of it. Unfortunately, I've got a few pictures. If you're interested, I don't suppose you are if you're really watching the seat install. And you know, that's why, you know, you're doing other things as well, so it takes time. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the wiring, stop gassing, and maybe I'll get something done. I'm just looking at the Crafter fuse box now, and hopefully you can see, yes you can see the multimeter. Now I'm going to put earth, the ignition is off, and all the empty fuses seem to be constant live. So you can see there, I'm getting 12 volts, 12 volts, 12 volts, 12 volts there, 12 volts, and if we go back to the top row, make sure I've got my earth in properly, there's 12 volts there, and 12 volts there, there's 12 volts there. Okay, I found a couple of switched fuses available. So that one there is available, and that one there is available switched. If you want constant power, they're all available, and they're all available. Hopefully that's going to be enough to take off your main battery, you know, for things you want to take off your main battery. I'd imagine most stuff is going to come off your leisure battery, but hopefully that's informative enough to get you going. Now I've got to try and figure out how to get these electric seats working. Moving on to the electric seats again, the heated side of the seats. It appears that that is just a signal wire. I think it takes the power elsewhere, and then we just trigger it on this wire. I'm not 100% sure, so what I'm going to do is so we're getting to the final stages of putting the seats in now, just doing the wiring. I'm struggling with the heated seats, so I will be honest. The heated seats don't seem to work the way I anticipated. I've tried connecting them up and nothing's getting hot. Now there is two reasons for that. The heated seat elements don't work, which is always a possibility, I suppose, or there's something I'm missing. Now, for any of those of you who are a bit more intelligent than me, this is a seat switch, well, this is the connector going into the heated seats. We've got a red, a green and black. Now, common sense to me, that is common sense to me, not to anybody else, dictates that that's the red is the high power setting, the green is the lower power setting, and then you've got your earth. That makes sense to me, but when I connect it up, it doesn't seem to happen. Now, one thing I will point out though, if you look, I'm going to try and hold that so you can see that, obviously come too close. Now the red and the black are quite large terminals. The green is a pin type terminal. So does that indicate something else? I don't know. I'm going to have to do a bit more research, but I have to get the seats in. We're literally off to America in a few days, and when we come back we're straight down to Cornwall Jamboree, so I haven't got time to mess around at the moment, so the heated seats will have to be done at a later stage. It's more important to have some seats back in the van working, so that's where we are at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to get it all connected back up and then I'll show you the seats working. And there we are. We have working seats. Whew, it's been a bit of a job, hasn't it? Only thing left, like I say, is the heated seats, and I think we're going to have a look at that at a later stage. But I'm quite pleased with that. One thing that does concern me though, I've never thought about it before, when you go to a single seat in the front of the crafter, your fuse box is going to be a hell of a difficult to get to. I am tempted actually to remove the cover and then just put a cover, get some covers for the back so it's easy to get to. Because that's going to be a nightmare. Well, there we are. So it's all done. Apart from the heated seats, still going to try and work out how to do that. But I am really pleased. There you are. That's what it looks like. You saw it at the very beginning of the video, but you know, all the effort. It's been a couple of days to get it all done properly, get the brackets done. I've treated the leather once. I'll probably give the leather a couple more treatments. But I'm really pleased. So if you've enjoyed this video, if it's been informative, if it's helped you, you know, give us a like. And if you want to see more of a crafter build, you know, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of our Indonesian adventures, subscribe to the channel. See you guys soon. See you in the next video, hopefully. Look after yourselves. See you later. Bye.